The sound of fabric tearing echoed across Westfield High's crowded courtyard like a whip crack. 17-year-old Willow Reeves stood frozen, her hands clutching the torn edges of her favorite vintage band shirt, while 300 students watched Devin Matthews and his crew laugh like hyenas. But when she threw that uppercut 30 seconds later, nobody was laughing anymore. It started during lunch period on a Tuesday. The April sun beat down on the outdoor picnic tables, where students clustered in their usual groups. Willow sat alone under the oak tree, reading her chemistry textbook, when a shadow fell across the pages. "Hey, Willow." Devin's voice dripped with fake sweetness. She looked up. Devin Matthews stood there with his varsity jacket and that smirk that made her stomach turn. Behind him, his friends Bryce and Connor filmed everything on their phones. "What do you want?" "Devin?" Her voice came out smaller than she intended. "Prom's in 2 weeks," he said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "Thought I'd ask the school's biggest virgin to go with me." Laughter rippled through the courtyard. Willow's cheeks burned. She tried to return to her book, but Devin snatched it from her hands. "Come on. Don't be rude. I'm asking you to prom." He turned to his audience. "Should I get on one knee for the library mouse?" More laughter. Phones appeared everywhere. "Recording. Give me my book back." Willow said, "Not until you answer." Devin dropped to one knee in mock ceremony. "Willow Reeves, will you go to prom with me so I can finally pop that cherry?" The courtyard erupted. Willow stood up, her whole body shaking. "You're disgusting. Is that a no?" Devin stood up, still holding her book. Nobody rejects Devin Matthews. "I just did." She reached for her book. That's when everything went wrong. Devin tossed her book to Bryce. When Willow turned to get it, Connor grabbed the back of her shirt, the vintage Nirvana tee she'd found at a thrift store, the one her dad had given her money for on her birthday. "Let go." She tried to pull away, make her say yes. Someone shouted, "Rip it," another voice called out. Connor yanked harder. The sound of tearing fabric cut through the air. The back of her shirt split from collar to hem, exposing her back and the sports bra underneath. The courtyard exploded with cheers and wolf whistles. Willow spun around, trying to hold the fabric together. Her eyes filled with tears she refused to let fall. 300 students, dozens of phones recording, and not one person stepping forward to help. "Nice bra." "Library mouse." Bryce laughed. "Is that from the kids section?" Devin stepped closer. "Maybe now you'll learn not to reject me in public." Something inside Willow snapped. Later, witnesses would describe it differently. Some said her eyes went cold. Others said she smiled. But everyone agreed on what happened next. Willow let go of her torn shirt. It hung open, but she didn't care anymore. She planted her feet, rotated her hips, and drove her fist upward with every ounce of strength in her 110-pound frame. The uppercut connected with Devin's jaw with a sound like a baseball bat hitting leather. His head snapped back. His feet left the ground. For a moment, he seemed to float, suspended in the afternoon sun. Then gravity took over. Devin Matthews, 6 foot 2 inches of varsity athlete, crashed onto the concrete. His friends stood frozen. The courtyard fell silent except for the sound of phones clicking and recording. Willow stood over him, her torn shirt fluttering in the breeze, her fist still clenched. Blood dripped from her knuckles where the impact had split the skin. She didn't seem to notice. "Anyone else want to rip my clothes?" Her voice carried across the courtyard, steady and clear. Nobody moved. She bent down and picked up her chemistry book from where Bryce had dropped it. Then she walked through the crowd, which parted like the Red Sea. Not to the nurse's office, not to hide in the bathroom. She walked straight to the principal's office, her ruined shirt billowing behind her like a battle flag. Behind her, Devin groaned and tried to sit up. His jaw was already swelling. Connor helped him to his feet while Bryce kept filming. But his hands shook now. "Did you see that?" someone whispered. She knocked him out cold, with one punch. That was like something from a movie, but Willow didn't hear any of it. She was already in the administration building, knocking on Principal Morrison's door. "Come in." The principal called. Willow entered, still holding her book, her shirt still torn. Principal Morrison, a woman in her 50s with kind eyes behind thick glasses, looked up from her computer. Her expression shifted from professional greeting to alarm. "Willow, what happened to your shirt?" Devin Matthews and his friends sexually harassed me in the courtyard. When I rejected his prom invitation, Connor Fitzgerald ripped my shirt. I defended myself. She set her book on the desk. I'd like to file a formal complaint, and I'll need to call my parents. Principal Morrison stood up, quickly shrugging off her cardigan and wrapping it around Willow's shoulders. Are you hurt? Willow looked at her bloody knuckles for the first time. Just my hand. Devin's probably worse. Devin's hurt? I hit him. Willow met the principal's eyes directly. Once, after they tore my clothes off in front of the entire school, before Principal Morrison could respond, her phone rang. She answered it, listened for a moment, then hung up. Security says there's a video already circulating. 300 views in 5 minutes. Good. Willow said, then there's evidence. The door burst open. Vice Principal Richards stormed in, his face red. Morrison. That girl assaulted Devin Matthews. His parents are already threatening to. He stopped when he saw Willow sitting there in the principal's cardigan, her shirt clearly torn. Mr. Richards. Principal Morrison's voice could have frozen fire. I'll need you to call the school resource officer. We have a case of sexual assault and harassment. And get the nurse for Miss Reeves' hand. But Devin can wait. She turned to Willow. Do you want to call your parents? Or should I? I'll call. Willow pulled out her phone. My mom's a lawyer. She'll want to hear this directly from me. Richards left, muttering under his breath. Principal Morrison sat down across from Willow. Tell me everything, from the beginning. So Willow did. She explained how Devin had been making comments for weeks, how she'd ignored him, hoping he'd get bored, how today he'd decided to humiliate her in front of everyone, how nobody had tried to stop it. And the punch? Principal Morrison asked. My dad taught me. He said, if someone puts hands on me without permission, I have the right to defend myself. Willow flexed her injured hand. One strike to end the threat. No more. No less. The nurse arrived and began cleaning Willow's knuckles. Through the window, they could see students clustering in groups, all looking at their phones. The video had gone viral within the school. Willow's phone buzzed. Her mom. Hi. Mom. I'm in the principal's office. I'm okay, but I need you to come to school. No. I'm not in trouble. Well, not exactly. Some boys tore my shirt and I punched one of them. Yes. There's video. Okay. See you soon. She hung up and looked at Principal Morrison. She'll be here in 20 minutes. She's bringing my dad too. Good. The principal typed something on her computer. I'm pulling the security footage now. We have cameras in the courtyard. Through the door. They could hear commotion in the outer office. Devin's voice. Loud and angry. She broke my jaw. I want her expelled. Sounds like his parents are here. The nurse observed, wrapping Willow's hand. Principal Morrison stood up. Wait here. I'll handle this. She left, closing the door behind her. Willow could hear muffled voices, growing louder. Devin's father shouting about assault charges. His mother demanding to know why that girl wasn't already suspended. Then her phone buzzed again. A text from an unknown number. That was amazing. Skylar. Then another. About time someone stood up to him. Morgan. And another. Devin's been getting away with this stuff for years. Thank you. Anonymous. More texts poured in. Students she'd never spoken to. Girls who'd been harassed. Boys who'd been bullied. All thanking her for doing what they'd wanted to do for years. The door opened. Principal Morrison returned, looking tired. Devin's parents are demanding your suspension. They claim you attacked him unprovoked. What about the video? Willow asked. They haven't seen it yet. They're refusing to watch it, saying it doesn't matter what led up to the assault. Sexual assault. Willow corrected. Ripping someone's clothes off is sexual assault. You're right. The principal sat down. The school resource officer is reviewing the footage now. He'll make the determination about charges. Charges against me? Against everyone involved. A knock at the door. Principal Morrison, the Reeves are here. Willow's parents interred. Her mother, Harper Reeves, wore a sharp business suit and an expression that could cut glass. Her father, Samuel, still in his firefighter uniform from his shift, went straight to Willow. You okay, kiddo? He examined her wrapped hand. I'm fine. Dad, good form on the uppercut? Perfect form. Just like you taught me. Harper Reeves was already in lawyer mode. Principal Morrison. I want to see all footage immediately. I want written statements from witnesses. And I want to know what disciplinary action is being taken against the boys who assaulted my daughter. Mrs. Reeves. I understand your concerns. No, I don't think you do. Harper's voice was ice. My 17-year-old daughter was sexually assaulted in broad daylight on school property, while hundreds of students watched and filmed it. Then she's made to sit here like she's the problem, while her attacker's parents demand her head. So, let me be clear. If this school doesn't handle this properly, I will handle it in court. Mom, Willow said quietly. Principal Morrison is trying to help. Harper looked at her daughter. Then at the principal. Her expression softened slightly. You're right. I apologize. This is just completely understandable. Principal Morrison finished. I have a daughter myself. If you'll come with me, we can review the footage together. Officer Martinez is in the conference room. They all stood to leave. As they walked through the outer office, Willow saw Devin sitting with his parents. His jaw was swollen, purple already spreading across his skin. When he saw her, he tried to speak but winced in pain. His mother jumped up. There she is. The girl who attacked my son. Look what she did to his face. Look what your son did to my daughter's shirt. Harper replied coldly. Boys will be boys. No. Willow stepped forward. Boys will be held accountable for their actions. Just like everyone else. You little. Enough. Officer Martinez appeared in the doorway. He was young, maybe 30, with serious eyes. Everyone in the conference room. Now, they filed in. A large screen showed the paused security footage. Officer Martinez closed the door and turned to face them. I've reviewed the courtyard footage from multiple angles. I've also seen the cell phone videos that are circulating. He clicked a remote, and the screen came to life. They watched in silence. The fake promposal, the book being taken, the shirt being ripped, the uppercut, it was all there in crystal clear quality. When it finished, Devin's mother was pale. His father stared at the floor. Based on what I've seen, Officer Martinez said, Connor Fitzgerald committed assault when he grabbed and tore Miss Reeves's clothing. Devin Matthews and Bryce Coleman were accomplices. Miss Reeves defended herself with reasonable force against an ongoing assault. Reasonable force? Devin's father exploded. She knocked him unconscious. Your son is 6'2" and 190 pounds. Miss Reeves is 5'4" and 110. She struck once, to end the threat, then immediately sought help from authorities. Officer Martinez turned to Willow. Textbook self-defense. This is ridiculous. Devin's mother said, We're pressing charges. That's your right. Officer Martinez replied, But I should warn you. The video shows clear sexual assault. That's a felony. Your son could be looking at serious charges. The room fell silent. Principal Morrison spoke up. Here's what's going to happen. Devon, Connor, and Bryce are suspended pending a full investigation. The district will conduct a Title IX review. Officer Martinez will file his report with the district attorney, who will decide on criminal charges. And Willow, her father asked, returns to class tomorrow. She violated no school policies. Devin's parents stormed out, their son limping behind them. As they left, Willow heard Devin's mother hiss. This isn't over. After they were gone, Officer Martinez turned to Willow. You okay? She nodded. Just tired. You did good today. Standing up for yourself like that. He handed Harper his card. If you decide to press charges, call me directly. After he left, Principal Morrison sighed. This is going to get complicated. Devin's family has money. They donate to the school. I don't care who they donate to. Harper said. They don't get to buy their way out of this. I'm not suggesting they will. I'm just warning you, they'll fight dirty. Let them, Willow said. Everyone looked at her. I'm done being quiet. I'm done being the shy girl who takes it. They wanted a fight? They've got one. Her phone buzzed. Another unknown number. This time, with a video attachment, she opened it and her heart sank. Someone had edited the footage. They'd cut out everything before the punch, making it look like Willow had attacked Devin unprovoked. The caption read, Psycho girl attacks innocent guy for asking her to proms. What is it? Her dad asked. She showed them. Principal Morrison's face darkened. Who sent this? Unknown number. Willow checked the view count. 5,000 views already. They're trying to control the narrative. Harper said, We need to get ahead of this. But before anyone could respond, Willow's phone exploded with notifications. The edited video was spreading like wildfire. Comments poured in, some supporting her, others calling her violent, unstable, a feminist extremist. Turn it off, her father said gently. Don't read that garbage. But Willow had already seen enough. Death threats, rape threats, her home address somehow posted in the comments, photos of her from her Instagram edited into horrible memes. I need air, she said. I'll come with you. Her father offered. No. I need a minute. She stepped out into the hallway, which was mercifully empty. Classes were still in session. Through the windows, she could see normal school life continuing, students taking notes, teachers writing on boards. As if her whole world hadn't just exploded, her phone rang, unknown number, against her better judgment. She answered. Hello? You think you're tough now? The voice was digitally distorted. Wait until tomorrow. Devin has friends. Lots of friends. And they're all going to make your life hell? Who is this? Someone who knows where you live, where you walk, where you hide. Pause. That uppercut was impressive. Let's see how tough you are when it's 10 against 1. The line went dead. Willow stared at her phone, her hand starting to shake. Not from fear, from anger. They thought they could intimidate her. They thought she'd crumble. They were wrong. She walked back into the conference room. I want to make a statement, a public one, and I want the full, unedited video released. Principal Morrison hesitated. That might escalate things. They're already escalated. Someone just called and threatened me. They know where I live. She looked at her parents. I'm not backing down. I'm not transferring schools. I'm not hiding. Then we fight, her mother said. But we fight smart. What does that mean? Harper smiled. And it was the kind of smile that probably terrified opposing counsel. It means we're about to teach Devin Matthews and his friends a lesson about consequences. Legal ones. And the court of public opinion? Principal Morrison asked. These edited videos. Leave that to me, Willow said. Everyone looked at her in surprise. I have an idea, but I'll need access to the school's social media accounts. Absolutely not. Principal Morrison said. The district would never. Then I'll use my own. Willow pulled out her phone. 3 years of being invisible means I've been watching, learning. I know every secret in this school, every covered-up incident, every time Devin and his friends got away with something because of who their parents are. Willow. Her father warned. Be careful. I'm done being careful. She looked at the edited video. Now at 50,000 views. They want to play dirty? Fine. But they better be ready for what comes next. Her phone buzzed. Another text. This time from her best friend. The one person who'd stood by her through everything. Check the parking lot. Now, Emma. Willow moved to the window. In the student parking lot, someone had spray-painted her car. Snitch in red letters across the windshield. Uptight bitch on the hood. They vandalized my car, she said quietly. Everyone rushed to look. Principal Morrison immediately called security. Harper started taking photos for evidence. Samuel put his arm around his daughter. But Willow just stared at the defaced vehicle. Her jaw set. They thought this would break her. They thought she'd cry. Transfer schools. Disappear. They had no idea who they were dealing with. Principal Morrison, she said. Not moving from the window. I want to call an assembly. Tomorrow morning. The whole school. For what? Willow turned to face them. And there was something in her eyes that made even her parents step back. For the truth, all of it. Every girl Devin's harassed, every complaint that got buried, every time the school looked the other way because his family donates to the new stadium fund. I can't authorize that. The legal implications. Then I'll do it without authorization. Willow picked up her bag. Live stream. Social media. Whatever it takes. Willow. Think about this. Principal Morrison pleaded. You're angry. I understand. But I'm not angry. Willow's voice was calm, controlled. I'm done. Done pretending this school is safe. Done watching girls get harassed while boys get away with it. Done being quiet because it's easier than making waves. She headed for the door, then stopped. Devin's friends want war? They've got one, but they're not going to like how it ends. As she reached for the handle, the fire alarm went off. The piercing sound filled the building. Through the window, they could see students pouring out of classrooms, But this wasn't a drill. Smoke billowed from the science wing, real smoke, real fire, and spray painted on the sidewalk where the students were gathering, in the same red paint used on Willow's car, were the words, "This is just the beginning." Principal Morrison grabbed her radio. "This is not a drill. Evacuate immediately." As they rushed outside, Willow's phone buzzed one last time. Another unknown number. Another message. "Your move. Library mouse." She looked at the burning science wing, at the panicked students, at the message on the sidewalk. They'd set fire to the school because she'd dared to fight back, because she'd thrown one punch in self-defense. If they wanted to escalate this far, she'd match them step for step. "Mom," she said as they reached the evacuation point, "call your media contacts. All of them. What are you planning?" Willow watched the smoke rise into the April sky, her wrapped hand throbbing with each heartbeat. "They want to destroy me for standing up for myself? Fine. But I'm taking them all down with me. Every last one." The sirens grew louder as fire trucks approached. Students whispered and pointed at her. Teachers tried to maintain order. And somewhere in the crowd, Devon's friends were watching, waiting to see if their intimidation had worked. It hadn't. It had only made her stronger. And tomorrow, when the sun rose on Westfield High, everything would change. The morning news vans arrived before sunrise. Willow stood at her bedroom window, watching reporters set up on her lawn while her phone buzzed non-stop. 317 missed calls. Over 1,000 texts. The edited video had hit 2 million views overnight. "Sweetheart, you need to eat something," her mother said from the doorway. "Not hungry." Willow checked her phone. Another death threat. Another rape threat. Another concerned citizen posting her family's information online. "The police want to interview you about the fire." Harper continued. "They found accelerant in 3 locations. Devon's friends aren't subtle." Willow turned from the window. "Did they arrest anyone?" "Not yet. But they pulled security footage. Several students were seen near the science wing before the fire started." Willow's phone rang. Emma's name flashed on screen. "Em, are you okay?" "Willow, don't come to school today." Emma's voice shook. "It's bad. Really bad. They're planning something." "Who's planning what?" "I overheard Bryce and Connor in the parking lot. They've got like 30 guys ready to." The line cut off. Willow tried calling back. Straight to voicemail. "I'm going to school," she announced. "Absolutely not," her father said, appearing beside her mother. "After yesterday's threats, if I don't show up, they win." Willow pushed past them. "I'm not hiding." Downstairs. The doorbell rang. Through the peephole, Willow saw Officer Martinez with 2 other cops. "Miss Reeves," he said when she opened the door, "we need to talk." They sat in the living room. Officer Martinez pulled out a tablet. "We've identified 3 suspects in yesterday's fire. Connor Fitzgerald, Bryce Coleman, and Mason Garrett. Their faces are clear on the security footage. Devon's crew." Willow said. "They're being arrested as we speak, but we think more students were involved." He showed her a screenshot from social media. This was posted an hour ago. The image showed a group chat called Justice for Devon, 53 members. The pinned message read, "Library Mouse thinks she's tough. Today we remind her where she belongs. Everyone knows their role. Stick to the plan. They're organizing," Harper said, reading over Willow's shoulder, "which is why we're assigning protection." Officer Martinez said, "An officer will escort you to school and remain on campus." "No," Willow said. Everyone stared at her. "No protection. No escort. If I show up with a police bodyguard, I become the victim. That's what they want." She stood up. "I have a plan. Trust me." Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. But this time, it wasn't a threat. "Not everyone is against you. Check your email." "A friend." Willow opened her email. Her breath caught. Someone had sent her files, dozens of them, screenshots of group chats, videos, documentation, going back 3 years. Devon's crew harassing girls. Teachers dismissing complaint. Principal Morrison's predecessor burying reports to protect the school's reputation. "Mom," she said slowly, "you need to see this." Harper read through the files, her expression darkening with each one. This is systematic cover-up. This goes all the way to the district level. Someone's been collecting evidence." Willow said, waiting for the right moment. Her phone rang. Principal Morrison. Willow. I need you to come to school early. Before the other students arrive, we need to discuss. I'll be there in 30 minutes. Willow interrupted. And Principal Morrison? Make sure the auditorium is available. The auditorium? Why? You'll see. She hung up and turned to her parents. I need to borrow Mom's laptop. And Dad? Remember that video editing software you use for your training videos? Willow. What are you planning? Samuel asked. Justice. She said simply. 45 minutes later. Willow walked into Westfield High with her parents and Officer Martinez. The parking lot was empty, except for a few teacher cars and one news van that had followed them. Principal Morrison met them at the entrance. Looking exhausted. The fire damage is contained to one lab. We're cleared to hold classes. But parents are keeping their kids home. We're expecting maybe 30% attendance. Perfect. Willow said. Less collateral damage. Collateral damage from what? Instead of answering, Willow headed to the auditorium. She'd spent the drive uploading files, creating presentations, and coordinating with Emma, who'd finally texted back from a burner phone, I need the AV system. Willow told the confused tech teacher, full access, and stream capability. I can't just, Mr. Henderson. Principal Morrison sighed. Give her what she needs. As Willow set up, students began arriving, not the 30% Morrison expected, more like 70%. Word had spread. Everyone wanted to see what would happen next. Through the auditorium windows, Willow spotted them. Devon, jaw still swollen, surrounded by his remaining friends. They strutted across the courtyard like they owned it. Even with 3 of their crew in custody, he's here. Emma appeared beside her, having snuck in through the side door, and he's got backup. Football team. Lacrosse team. Even some alumni who drove in this morning. Good. Willow said, connecting her laptop. I want them all here. Willow. You're scaring me. What are you doing? Something I should have done freshman year. She turned to Principal Morrison. Call an assembly. Mandatory. Everyone in the auditorium in 20 minutes. I can't call a mandatory assembly without district approval. Then I'll do it myself. Willow grabbed the intercom microphone. Her voice echoed through the school. Attention, Westfield High. This is Willow Reeves. Yes. The girl from the video. In 20 minutes, I'll be in the auditorium with evidence of 3 years of covered-up assaults, harassment, and crimes at this school. If you want the truth about Devin Matthews and everyone who protected him, be there. If you're one of his victims, be there. If you're tired of the lies, be there. And Devin, I know you're listening. Bring your friends. Bring everyone. You're going to want witnesses for this. She clicked off. The school erupted in chaos. Teachers tried to restore order. Students flooded the hallways. And through it all, Willow calmly finished her setup. This is insane. Principal Morrison said, you can't just. Watch me. Willow's phone showed the live stream already starting. 5,000 viewers and climbing. Local news picking it up. The whole state's about to see what really happens at Westfield High. Students poured into the auditorium. Devin's crew took the front rows, trying to intimidate her. Behind them, other students filled every seat. Teachers lined the walls. Some looked worried. Others looked relieved, like they'd been waiting for this moment. When the auditorium was packed, Willow walked onto the stage. No podium. No noches. Just her. A microphone. And the giant screen behind her. The room fell silent. Yesterday, she began. Connor Fitzgerald ripped my shirt off in front of 300 students because I rejected Devin Matthews. Yesterday, someone set fire to our school because I defended myself. Yesterday, 53 students planned in a group chat to assault me today. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Devin started to stand, but his lawyer, they'd actually brought a lawyer, pulled him down. But this isn't about yesterday. Willow clicked her remote. The screen lit up with the first document. This is about 3 years of your star athletes drugging girls at parties. 3 years of teachers told to look the other way. 3 years of complaints buried because Devin's family donated $2 million to the new stadium. That's slander, Devin's lawyer shouted. Stop this immediately, or what? Willow clicked again. A video played, grainy but clear. A party. Devin and Bryce carrying an unconscious girl upstairs. This is from last year's homecoming. The girl, I won't say her name without permission, reported it. Nothing happened. The report vanished. But someone kept a copy. The auditorium erupted. Students shouting. Teachers trying to maintain order. Devon's face had gone white. Lie, someone from his crew yelled. Really? Willow clicked again. Screenshots of text messages. These are from Devon's phone. Bragging about it. Sharing photos. Planning the next one. How did you? Devon started. Then caught himself. Get these? Willow smiled coldly. You really should use better passwords than your jersey number. More chaos. Principal Morrison moved toward the stage. But Harper Reeves blocked her path. Let her finish. Willow continued. Methodical and relentless. Each piece of evidence worse than the last. Teachers who reported incidents and were threatened with termination. Students who were paid to stay quiet. A whole system designed to protect predators and silence victims. This email, Willow said, displaying it on screen, is from former Principal Anderson to Devon's father. Quote, the situation has been handled. The girl's family has agreed to homeschool. No police involvement necessary. Thank you again for your generous contribution to our athletics program. A girl in the middle section stood up, tears streaming. That was me. That email was about me. They made my family sign an NDA, said they'd ruin my father's business if we talked. Another girl stood. Me too. Freshman year. They said no one would believe me. Another. Sophomore year. The nurse wouldn't even do a rape kit. One by one. Girls stood up. 10, 20, 30, each with a story. Ache silenced. Each failed by the system meant to protect them. Devon's lawyer was on his phone, frantically texting. Devon himself sat frozen, watching his world crumble. But wait, Willow said. There's more. She clicked to a new folder. Fire investigation preliminary report. Security footage from yesterday. Clear as day, Connor. Bryce. And Mason breaking into the chemistry lab. Spreading accelerant. Lighting matches. They committed arson. Willow said simply, a federal crime. Because I threw one punch in self-defense, Officer Martinez stepped forward. I've seen enough. Devon Matthews. You're under arrest for conspiracy to commit arson and multiple counts of sexual assault. No. Devon jumped up. She's lying. It's all fake. Deep fakes. AI. Something. His friends tried to run. Officers at the exit stopped them. One by one. They were cuffed and led away. Devon's lawyer followed, shouting about lawsuits and defamation. But Willow wasn't done. For 3 years, I was the quiet girl, the shy girl, the library mouse who kept her head down and didn't make waves. She looked directly at the livestream camera. And for 3 years, I watched girls get hurt while boys got trophies. Not anymore. She clicked one last time. A website appeared on screen. WestfieldSurvivors.com. This site has every document, every video, every buried report. It's hosted offshore, backed up in 12 locations, and protected by the best encryption money can buy. She smiled. Devon's money. Actually, he forgot to change his banking passwords too. The auditorium exploded in shocked laughter. Even some teachers couldn't hide their smiles. Any student who's been harassed, assaulted, or silenced can submit their story anonymously. It goes directly to the FBI, the Department of Education, and every major news outlet in the state. She paused. The upload portal is already live. 47 submissions in the past 10 minutes. Principal Morrison finally made it to the stage. Willow, this is necessary. Willow handed her the microphone. Your turn. Tell them about the meeting where the district told you to keep quiet about Devon. Tell them about the threats to your job if you didn't play along. Or I will. Morrison took the microphone with shaking hands. She looked at the crowd, at her students, at the cameras, then she straightened her shoulders. Everything Miss Reeves has shown you is true. I was hired 2 years ago with explicit instructions to maintain the status quo, to protect the school's reputation and donor relationships at all costs. Her voice cracked. I failed you, all of you, and I'm done failing. She turned to the camera. I'm officially requesting a federal investigation into Westfield High School, the district administration, and everyone involved in covering up these crimes, including myself. The live stream chat exploded. News stations broke into regular programming. Number Justice for Willow started trending worldwide. But in the auditorium, something else was happening. Students were talking, not whispers or rumors, but real conversations. Athletes admitting what they'd seen, popular kids apologizing to victims they'd ignored, 3 years of silence breaking like a dam. Devin was led past the stage in handcuffs. He looked up at Willow with pure hatred. "This isn't over. My family will destroy you. You'll never." "Your family?" Willow laughed. "Check your dad's company stock. Down 40% since this stream started. Turns out investors don't like funding predators." As Devin was dragged away, still screaming threats, Willow felt a hand on her shoulder. She turned to find Mrs. Chen, her AP chemistry teacher. "I've been collecting evidence too," the teacher said quietly. 4 years worth. I was waiting for someone brave enough to use it." She handed Willow a flash drive. "Everything's on here, including recordings of school board meetings where they discussed the cover-ups." Willow took the drive, her eyes widening. "You're the anonymous source." Mrs. Chen smiled. "Sometimes the quiet ones are the most dangerous." The assembly ended, but nobody left. Students clustered in groups, sharing stories, offering support. Teachers opened their classrooms for anyone who needed a safe space to talk. Counselors arrived from other schools to help. Willow found herself surrounded by girls she'd never spoken to before, all thanking her, all sharing their own stories, all finally feeling heard. "You know they'll come after you," Emma said quietly. "Devin's family, their lawyers, every powerful person who benefited from this system. Let them," Willow replied. "I've got truth on my side, and apparently, I've got a mean uppercut." That got a laugh. The first real laugh she'd heard in the auditorium all day. Her phone buzzed. A text from her mom. "Channel 7 wants an exclusive interview." CNN called. "The district attorney is opening a criminal investigation." "You did it. Baby. You changed everything." But Willow wasn't thinking about interviews or investigations. She was watching a freshman girl work up the courage to report her assault, watching a senior athlete admit he'd stayed silent when he should have spoken up, watching a broken system finally start to heal. "Miss Reeves?" A woman in an FBI windbreaker approached. "Agent Sarah Kim. We've been monitoring your live stream. We'd like to discuss federal charges against multiple individuals." "Of course," Willow said. "But first, can you make sure these girls get to tell their stories? They've been waiting long enough." Agent Kim nodded. "We'll interview everyone. No one gets silenced this time." As the FBI took over the scene, Willow slipped out of the auditorium. She needed air, space to process what had just happened. She found herself in the courtyard where it all started. The picnic tables, the oak tree, the spot where Devin had tried to humiliate her, where she'd thrown the punch that changed everything. "You know," a voice said behind her, "most people would have just transferred schools." She turned to find Officer Martinez. He wasn't alone. A woman in her 40s stood beside him, professional but kind-looking. "This is Detective Rebecca Torres," he said. "She runs the Special Victims Unit. She wants to offer you a job." Willow blinked. "A job?" "I'm 17. An internship." Detective Torres clarified. "After you graduate, we need people like you, people who aren't afraid to fight systems, people who understand that justice isn't just about loss, it's about courage." "I'll think about it," Willow said. Though she was already interested, her phone rang. Her father. "Hey, kiddo, you might want to come home. The lawn is full of supporters." And Mom's fielding calls from every law firm in the state, wanting to represent you pro bono against Devin's family. "Tell them thanks." But Mom's got it covered. Willow smiled. "I'll be home soon." She hung up and took one last look around the courtyard. Tomorrow, she'd have to deal with lawyers and lawsuits, death threats and media circuses. The long, difficult process of rebuilding a broken system. But today? Today she'd stood up. Today she'd fought back. Today she'd given voice to the silenced, and it all started with one uppercut. As she walked toward the parking lot, students began applauding, not the mocking applause from yesterday, but genuine appreciation, respect, gratitude. Someone had cleaned the spray paint off her car. Someone else had left flowers on the windshield. A note read, "Thank you for being our voice." The survivors of Westfield High. Willow got in her car, placed the flowers on the passenger seat, and drove home. In her rearview mirror, she could see news vans surrounding the school. FBI agents escorting evidence, students still talking in groups, finally free to speak their truth. Her phone buzzed with a text from Emma. So, same time tomorrow for chemistry study group? Willow laughed. Really laughed. After everything, life would go on. Homework would still be due. Tests would still happen. But now it would happen in a school where predators faced consequences, where victims were believed, where one shy girl's refusal to stay silent changed everything. She pulled into her driveway, where her parents waited on the porch. Her father held up his phone, showing a news headline. The Uppercut heard round the world, how one student exposed years of abuse. Proud of you, kiddo, he said. Thanks for teaching me to fight. She replied, I taught you to throw a punch. He corrected, you taught yourself to throw down a system inside. The television showed continuous coverage. Westfield High was trending globally. Other students from other schools were coming forward with their own stories. The website had crashed from traffic, but mirror sites were already up. A movement had started, all because she'd refused to let them tear her shirt without consequences. That night, as Willow finally checked her messages, she found thousands of stories from survivors around the world, each one thanking her, each one sharing their truth, each one promising to stop being silent. She thought about responding to them all, but exhaustion finally hit. She'd thrown one punch and started a revolution. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new fights, new systems to change. But tonight, she could rest. Tonight, she could smile at her reflection, no longer the library mouse, but a warrior who'd found her voice and used it to roar. Her last thought before sleep was simple. They should have just let her read her chemistry book in peace. Instead, they'd created their worst nightmare, a quiet girl who refused to stay quiet anymore. 6 weeks later, the courtroom was packed. Willow sat between her parents, wearing the same vintage band shirt now, carefully mended, that had started everything. Across the aisle, Devin Matthews sat in an orange jumpsuit, his army of lawyers reduced to one public defender. Has the jury reached a verdict? Judge Catherine Walsh asked. We have, Your Honor. Willow squeezed her mother's hand as the foreman read, on the count of conspiracy to commit arson, we find the defendant guilty. On 3 counts of sexual assault, we find the defendant guilty. On the count of criminal harassment, we find the defendant guilty. Devin's mother sobbed. His father had stopped coming to court after his company filed for bankruptcy. Turns out, investors really didn't like funding predators. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed. But Willow had gotten good at handling media. She stopped at the microphones, composed and clear. This verdict isn't just about me. It's about every survivor who was silenced, every student who was failed by systems meant to protect them. Today, 37 survivors got justice. But our work isn't done. Willow, what's next for you? A reporter asked. Finals, she said simply. I'm still a senior. I still have to pass chemistry. The crowd laughed. Even after everything, she remained grounded. Later, at the celebration her parents threw, Willow found herself in the backyard with Emma and the other survivors who'd testified. They called themselves the 37 Noah Support Group that met weekly. So, Berkeley? Emma asked, holding up Willow's acceptance letter that had arrived that morning. Full scholarship. Willow nodded. Pre-law with a minor in social justice. Of course, Emma smiled. From library mouse to legal eagle. Mrs. Chen appeared with a cake she'd baked, written in frosting, justice served. The chemistry teacher had become one of Willow's strongest supporters, testifying about years of silenced reports. Any regrets? Chen asked quietly. Willow thought about it. The death threats had mostly stopped after the FBI arrested 12 people for making them. The civil lawsuits from Devin's family had been dismissed. Westfield High had a new principal, new policies, and mandatory consent education. No regrets, she said finally. Just wish I'd spoken up sooner. Her phone buzzed. Another interview request. Another school wanting her to speak. Another survivor reaching out for advice. She'd become an accidental activist. A reluctant icon. Time magazine had even put her on their cover. The Uppercut generation, how Gen Z is fighting back. Principal Morrison, former principal, now approached hesitantly. She'd resigned after testifying, and now worked for a nonprofit supporting assault survivors. Willow, I wanted to apologize again. You testified. Willow interrupted. You told the truth when it mattered. That's all I wanted. As the sun set, Willow found herself alone on the porch swing. Tomorrow, she had a calculus test. Next week, prom which she'd attend with Emma and the 37, turning it into a celebration of survival instead of tradition. Next month, graduation. Her father joined her. Proud of you. Kiddo. But you know that. I know. She leaned against him. Dad, were you scared when you taught me to fight? Terrified. Knew if I taught you to throw a punch. Someday you might need to. He paused. Never imagined you'd use it to knock down an entire system. One uppercut at a time. She smiled. A car pulled up. Detective Torres stepped out, holding a folder. Thought you'd want to know 3 more schools in the state are under investigation. Students cited your case as inspiration to come forward. How many victims? Hundreds. Maybe thousands when we're done. Torres handed her the folder. That internship offer still stands. By the way, after Torres left, Willow opened the folder. Photos of students from other schools. Their stories, their courage, all because one shy girl had refused to let them rip her shirt without consequences. Her phone lit up with a notification. The documentary crew that had been following her story wanted to film her graduation speech. She'd been chosen as valedictorian, turns out. Fighting systemic injustice didn't hurt your GPA. You going to do it? Her mother asked, joining them on the porch. Yeah. Willow decided, one last time. As stars appeared overhead, Willow thought about that day in the courtyard, how a moment of humiliation became a movement, how one punch became a revolution, how a library mouse became a lion. She opened her laptop and began typing her graduation speech. 6 weeks ago, I was the quiet girl, the one who didn't make waves. Then someone ripped my shirt, and I threw a punch. That punch didn't just hit one bully, it hit an entire system designed to silence us. Today, I stand before you not as a victim, but as proof that our voices matter, that our stories matter, that sometimes the smallest person in the room can make the biggest change. Class of 2025, I challenge you. Don't wait for someone else to throw the first punch against injustice. Be the uppercut the world needs. She saved the file and closed her laptop. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but tonight, surrounded by family and friends, with justice served and survivors heard, Willow Reeves could finally rest. The library mouse had become a legend, and her roar would echo through generations